What's going on, guys? It's your boy Vega, and in today's video we'll be going over the top sneaker releases for the month of May. Now keep in mind, this is not every single release for the month of May. These are just the ones that have a little bit of a buzz going on and the ones that are really anticipated, in my opinion. Of course, also release dates are subject to change, so don't kill me in the comment section. I'm gonna start it off with some Jordan releases first and then hit you with a sprinkle of the rest of the sneaker brands. So with all of that out of the way, let's get right into the video. Alright guys, let's go ahead and start off the video with a banger, and that is the Jordan 1 UNC Reimagined, set to be releasing on May 10th for $180. And man, oh man, these are definitely classic. These are definitely fire in my opinion. Of course, I really like what they did with the reimagined treatment with this UNC colorway. Now I feel that it's almost like 50-50. Some people really like them, and then some people don't like the execution by Jordan brand. But in my opinion, I think that they did a very good job. I really like the Seoul midsole, of course. I know that some people don't like that, but again, this is a reimagined treatment. This is almost like that lost and found type of deal, and I feel that they look very good, man. I don't really have a lot of UNC colorways when it comes down to Jordan sneakers, so I really want to get my hands on these and maybe throw some like orange laces to kind of give it that off-white type of vibes. But you already know the vibes. You already know how I feel about them. In my opinion, this is definitely a cop. Up next, we have the Maniere Jordan 5 Violet Ore, set to be releasing on May 14th for $225. So these don't really have a huge buzz going on, but I wanted to include them because after all, it is an Maniere pair, and Maniere has the respect of the sneakerheads out there, so I wanted to include these right here. But in my opinion, these right here were done much better by Maniere, and they also have the 23¼ panel, which is the reason why I got these. But again, we didn't come to talk about these. We came to talk about the Violet Ores, and in my opinion, I feel that they are okay. They give us another burgundy color, another type of like white, burgundy, black type of color scheme that I am kind of over it, and that is the reason why I got the other Jordan 5s to begin with, because it is a little bit different. If you go for these, I can definitely understand why you would go for these. I would probably switch out those black laces and maybe get some white laces, some sail laces, and I think that they will look even better. And of course, due to the fact that they have the 23¼ panel right there, Nike Air branding in the back, and of course we can expect nothing but good quality by Maniere, I can see why people would go for these. But for me specifically, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a pass. So the next release is a part 2, and that is the Jordan 3 Seoul 2.0s, set to be releasing on May 15th for $200. The 1.0s released originally in 2018. They were pretty limited, and the resale on those are going for a lot of money. So if you're into that sort of thing, these are maybe worth a shot. I'm not really sure how they're going to release these right here. They might go ahead and release them exclusively to South Korea and make them even more limited. But as far as the colorway itself, I'm not really feeling these. I'd rather have the original ones. That wholesale midsole looks too much vintage. You can clearly see that it's like piss freaking yellow. It's horrible. I really like the rest of the sneaker, but that midsole is just killing it for me. And if it's going to be kind of a limited release, I might just get them to get something else, not necessarily because I really like them. So because of those reasons, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a pass. All right, so the next release is paying tribute to Hall of Famer Carmelo Anthony, and that is the Jordan 12 Melos, set to be releasing on May 17th for $200. The sneaker originally released way back in 2004, and then they did a re-release in 2014 or something like that, which was a kids exclusive back then, and now we have them once again, and I feel that these look very clean. If you like Jordan 12s and you know that's kind of your thing, because I know those Jordan 12 sneakerheads out there are out there, man. You guys have told me how much you like Jordan 12s. In Florida, it's kind of like, you know, 50-50, but either way, these are fire. These are classic, these are very clean, and if you love Carmelo Anthony, you know, he recently got inducted into the Hall of Fame, so if you want to show the support that way and you just want to have a piece of history, then I can definitely understand why you would get these. But me, for example, with so many releases and so many sneakers that I already have, I don't see myself rocking these as much, so for those reasons, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a pass. bruh. The next release, man. Every time I talk about these, it's almost like I get a freaking... Sorry, I got excited. But either way, the next pair is the Jordan 4 White Cement, set to be releasing on May 24th for $225. Originally, they released back in 2016, which is this pair right here. And man, every time that the White Cement releases, it's a struggle, man. You really gotta do your legwork. You really gotta enter raffles. You just gotta make those moves to get these right here if you really want them. The last time that they released, like I said, was in 2016. I had to do a lot of things to get them, and then the last time that they released was, I think, in 2012, and that was chaos. That was like right after the Jordan 11 Concords back then in 2011 or 12, something like that. Either way, these are just beautiful in my opinion. Of course, quality looks pretty good. Very classic and simple colorway to go ahead and rock for the spring, for the summertime, honestly, all year around. I don't really have to say that much. This is just a beautiful sneaker. I don't know what else to say. You already know the vibes. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a cop. Up next, we have a pretty highly anticipated sneaker, and that is the Jordan 3 Rare Air, set to be releasing on May 30th for $210. We already have some of those Jordan Rare Airs back in April, the Jordan 1s of course, and now we have the Jordan 3 releasing in May. I'm not really sure when the Jordan 4 Rare Air is going to release, but I'd rather have those than these. I don't really get what the buzz is about, and I'm probably gonna get killed in the comment section because they're pretty hyped right now, but I'd rather have the Jordan 4s, of course. When it comes down to the black, red, and blue type of Jordans, I don't really like that color scheme a lot. I have the Jordan 1 top 3s, and I understand that that's not really the same thing, but I don't really wear those because it's almost a little bit hard to like wear. Either way, man, if you like them, go ahead and cop. Me, for example, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that this is a pass. Nike's on my feet, keep my cipher complete. So in this portion of the video, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about other sneaker releases and other sneaker brands as well. So the first one that I want to talk about is the Nike Air Max 2 CB94s in the black purple colorway, set to be releasing on May 1st for $170. Also, they are releasing a white pair as well, which in my opinion looks even better because it has the nice 34 in the quarter panel right there. And I think that both look very good, especially if you are a Barkley fan. I feel that the Barkley line itself is pretty underrated. You know, it gets slept on a lot by, you know, Jordan Brand, of course, and the Air Penny line, and sometimes even some of those Pippins, but the Barkleys are definitely a classic. I do have the black and purple pair right here from 2020. These already released 2 times in the last 5 years. One in 2020, like I mentioned, and the other one in 2023, I believe. But I don't necessarily need another pair, so I'm gonna go ahead and say and pass for these right here. However, I do want to talk about the white pair because it looks pretty clean, and like I mentioned, that 34 in the back or in the quarter panel looks very clean with hints of orange, and the nice air bubble with orange hints looks very, very clean. So I'm gonna go ahead and say pass for the black and white pair, but cop for the white pair for sure. All right, so the next sneaker is a pretty interesting one, and that is the CSEF Nike SB Dunk Lows, set to be releasing on May 3rd for $135. So just in case you guys didn't know, the CSEF stands for College Skateboarding Educational Foundation, which was founded in 2018, and it is the first scholarship program exclusively dedicated for skateboarders in the US. And I really like that little dude in the back that is skateboarding in a graduation type of cap and gown. I think it looks very clean. I really like this color scheme as well. You know, the whole yellow and pink and green in the sole, the simple black and white color scheme throughout the whole sneaker, and that nice green liner. At the end of the day, I feel that if you are into skateboarding, these are probably gonna be a must cop for you. And these are pretty nice as well. Like I said, that little dude in the back looks pretty nice. So I feel like I'm gonna go for these, and if I go for them, I'm not gonna go ahead and try to like flip them or anything like that. I just kind of want to have something a little bit different. So if you're into the whole Nike SB Dunk Lows, then this is probably gonna be a cop for you as well. So for me, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a cop. Up next, we have another SB Dunk Low, and that is the Nike SB Dunk Low in the BHM colorway, set to be releasing on May 7th for $135. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Black History Month in February? Why are we getting it now in May? I'm not really sure what that's about. I'm not sure if that was a mistake, but if you are kind of confused as I was when I first saw these are Western inspired, of course, and these are basically celebrating Black cowboys. That's pretty much the story behind them. They look good, they look great, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not really buying the story, and that's just kind of Nike trying to push these now in May. But either way, they look pretty clean, of course. It's kind of one of those things that if you are getting the SB Dunk Low that I just mentioned before, then are you gonna get these unless you skateboard, of course, and I totally respect that. But for me, I think it's a little bit loud, and I do like loud colorways, but it's just a little bit too much going on. So because of those reasons, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a pass. All right, so hear me out. The next release right here, it's a big question mark. Not because it's not releasing, it's just the price point. I just don't get it. And that is the man, even the name is crazy. The Hyperice Nike Hyperboot, set to be releasing on May 17 for $900.
Jesus Christ.
Look, man, I feel that this is just a little bit too much. So let's go ahead and talk about that really quick. I feel that if this was priced maybe in the $550 range, I think it will do much better. I think that they're going to flop. I want to say that right off the bat because of the price point. The Hyper Adapts kind of flopped and they were at a much lower price point. Now I do get it. This is not just a regular sneaker. This is a recovery tool by Nike for, like, you know, extreme elites out there, extreme athletes. But at the end of the day, how many people are going to pay $900 for these just to go ahead and maybe get a little bit of a recovery in your feet? Now they gotta be doing some crazy wonders in my feet in order for me to justify the $900. But let's break down the sneaker, man. The sneaker has two big straps, which is kind of the main thing, of course, because it's supposed to be kind of like a booty, of course. Nike swoosh in the midsole, big midsole right there. And then we have the Hyperice, whatever they call it, that technology in the quarter panel right there. Black, white, gray color scheme, of course. I feel, of course, that Nike's going to go ahead and maybe put out another colorway, but I don't really care about the colorway if it's going to be kind of a recovery tool. It's just more, again, for recovery purposes. I feel that these kind of are like what the Apple Visions were. You know, it's a very solid, you know, piece of tech, but they wind up flopping because of the price. And I think that this is going to be the same thing as well. If they go on sale for like $500, maybe I'll consider them because I do play ball and I want to go ahead and try them. But for $900, for me, it's going to go ahead and be a pass. Up next, we have the Nike Air Foamposite 1 in the Psychic Blue colorway, set to be releasing on May 30th for $230. I think the Foamposite used to be $250, but now they're going for $230. And after the success of the Galaxy Foamposites and other colorways, Nike seems to be pushing the Air Foamposite model for sure. I think a lot of people from New York and DC are going to be happy because they love their Foamposites up there. But man, I don't feel like I'm gonna go for them just for the simple fact that I don't really care for Foamposites that much. I only like the Galaxy Foamposites, and I actually wind up, you know, not getting them. You know, after all of the talk that I said that I was gonna get them, it's just kind of like, you know what, the time has passed and it's time to move on. And I think that is kind of the same thing with Foamposites. At least that's my opinion. But if you love them, I can definitely understand why. It is a clean colorway for sure, but for me, it's just gonna be a pass. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of hype into the list with the Nike and Supreme collaboration in the Dunk Low model right here. They seem to be pushing the Dunk Low model a lot in the month of May, but this is set to be releasing sometime in May. There's no official release date just yet, but I'm pretty sure that they are going to release for $135. And they're not releasing 1, 2, 3, they're releasing 5 colorways. And the one that you're seeing right now is the ink colorway, which is one of my favorite ones, of course. 94 in the quarter panel right there, which is pretty much the year that Supreme was founded. And they have other colorways, a white pair, a black pair, and I think that all of them look pretty good as well. They also have a red Supreme insoles In the inside, I think all of them for the most part are going to bring these right here. But that ink colorway, man, look at that suede. I mean, it's just a pretty fire colorway. Again, I probably would go for these out of the 5 colors. We recently also saw a Nike Air Max 1 collaboration by Nike and Supreme. So it seems that the Supreme and Nike collaborations are going pretty strong as well. Which of the 5 colorways would you get? Let me know in the comments section. For me specifically, I'm gonna go ahead and say a cop for the purple pair, but the other ones look very good. So for those reasons, like I said, it's going to be a cop. And that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the top sneaker releases for the month of May, and good luck to you out there if you're trying to get any sneakers out there. Enter as many raffles as you can and all of that good stuff. In my opinion, the shoe of the month, the sneaker of the month has to be the white cement 4s. Let me know which one are you trying to grab in the comment section. But yeah, man, this is just a classic sneaker for sure. But if you made it all the way through, you are the real MVP. Go ahead and comment persistence, and that will let me know that you made it all the way through, that you rock with me pretty heavy, and all of that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way through, go ahead and hit subscribe, smash the like button. It really does go a long way. And also follow me in my social media pages right there. With all of that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.